Hi, I've been waiting a long time to ask this question to a Google employee, and
Oh, man.
it was a great speech. And I've used I've used TypeScript. I've used TypeScript extensively with Angular, but I've kind of wondered. So, Google, they're big into TypeScript now with Angular, but how about Dart?
Yeah.
How about Go?
Yes.
How about Kotlin? How about Flow from Facebook?
Yeah.
There's so many choices. Why can't you all just get along?
I mean, the short answer is we're never going to get along, so please stop dreaming. Like,
But it's the same company. I mean, TypeScript, Go, and Dart, they're all huge in Google, and they all do the same thing. They transpile JavaScript into something that runs either in the browser, on the server, or on both,
Yeah.
which is good.
It's
and
interesting.
They all provide typing, and why? And they're so similar. I mean, they're so similar. Why can't they just merge?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, you're definitely right. There's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of similar benefits. Strongly typed languages have a bunch of benefits that are all pretty much shared. But I think if you dig into it, you do realize that they are fairly unique. Very few people are deciding between Dart and, well, frankly, anything else. Most people don't consider Dart an option unless you're building with Flutter these days, which is huge.
Hopefully, going to be huge, which is awesome.
And this is my point, is that as these things have developed, in essence, they're similar, but it's not just about the languages and the static typing benefits. It's about the benefits of building into an ecosystem. The Go ecosystem is very focused around servers, high-performance servers, things like that. The Dart ecosystem is very focused around Flutter, and the TypeScript ecosystem is very focused around Node and web development through Angular and other frameworks. So, as languages, they do share a lot of benefits, but as they get built out and they go on, they've naturally split. So in my mind now, there's not much of a reason, there's not much of an overlap. There may be technically a bit, but in terms of community and the things supporting the languages, it's not as much.
I guess when I look at all those languages, the similarities, they're just so similar, like a colon or,
Yeah.
It,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's got to be some more questions. If you have a question, there's audience mic over there. I have a mic here I can pass along as well.
You can throw it somewhere. So mobile is definitely Firebase's baby. There's 19 different mobile products and 7 web products. Is that ever gonna? Obviously, it won't change entirely. But are there any plans for new web compatible? Crashlytics for web would be great. I use it in my React Native app and I love it. Is any? I guess Stackdriver does that as well. But is there any plans of porting it over to Firebase for web? Or any features over to Firebase for web.
So for any product that we launch, we consider whether it makes sense on all platforms or just on native mobile, right? And for some of them, it doesn't make sense to have them on web, right? The Firebase dynamic links on web is just called Ahref, right? It's you don't need a product for that. Crashlytics is a good one, for example, where we are constantly considering, it historically hasn't been supported. That wasn't our choice. And we are constantly considering if we should be adding that type of, or that platform support for Crashlytics. So just to give you an idea, by the way, over half of our usage comes from web. So even though more products are available on native platforms, that doesn't mean that more usage comes from there. And we take web very seriously. It's one of our top priorities for this year and next.
I also want to say the UI on Firebase is improved drastically over the past 2 months. Good job on that.
If you ever want a great thing, go on archive.org on the Wayback Machine and look at the Firebase website. The guy who owned it before we bought it from him was a conspiracy theorist. And it's the most ridiculous set of links, and it's a picture of a nuclear bomb exploding. And it's super silly. So yeah, it's definitely better than that. No
I still sold it to them, right? I still sold it.
Yeah, you still, yeah.
Great. Question over there?
So Microsoft the Microsoft SQL database has had geo coordinates as a data type for many years, and you could do a simple query to get the distance between stuff. Was that ever a consideration for Firebase to do some kind of a built-in thing instead of doing hashes like you described?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, so for Firestore, right, one we looked at most, it has a built-in data type to store a geopoint. It doesn't have a geoquery. You can be assured that we are aware of that. It just hasn't made it to the top of the list, right? We first want to make sure the API is exactly the way we want it for all the other features. Then we want to get the product out of beta, but supporting geoqueries is definitely on the list of features we'd love to support. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Other questions? Okay.
I like your presentation on latitudes and longitudes and the hashes. And I wanted to ask you a question about FPS and CGS system. The whole Europe, the whole Asia is into CGS systems where they understand millimeters and centimeters. In America, I think you showed a lot of slides where you had that 25 kilometers and 10 kilometers. 90% of the audience doesn't understand kilometers here. I hope you understand that. Oh, you know, like kilometers, people understand what is Fahrenheit. Right now, temperature is about, 68 Fahrenheit, but they don't know what Celsius is. I know you understand Celsius.
I can translate between the both. It's the advantage of being a transplant from Europe into the States. So.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I've been trying to convince Puff that no one knows what Celsius is for years. He never listens.
We'll all switch to Kelvin after all.
It's like a TypeScript. Any other questions?
Objectively too hard. Right?
Yes, it's objectively worse.
Final chance to ask your questions. All right. Great. All right. Well, I'd like to thank them for their great talks with 2 gifts.